Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A quick reminder of our top stories now. Increasing violent conflicts in West Africa dominate discussions at the 55th ordinary session of ECOWAS leaders in Abuja. President Buhari calls for greater cooperation to tackle instability in the sub-region. Late UN Secretary General Kofi Annan and Dr. Ameyo Adadevo get ECOWAS posthumous awards for excellence at the Commission's Heads of State Summit in Abuja. International humanitarian group Save the Children launches reports on state of children in Nigeria, says over 2 million girls, boys and caregivers in need of psychosocial support in Northeast. And Sudan's military warns opposition over planned protest rally tomorrow, says the troops must bear responsibility for any loss of life or damage for action plan. For more information on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com, youtube.com/channels, where you can have our videos. Also, watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an Eyewitness feature that you can use to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app and tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. And now to some of the stories that you sent in. Let's begin with this set of pictures from Magboro area in Ogun State, showing the flooded area, which our Eyewitness reporter says is as a result of lack of drainage system in the area. He's asking the state government to complete the project as the situation is disrupting activities of residents there. Next is this image of an eroded section of Abulegba Road on Ekoro Bridge at Ekoro Junction. Our Eyewitness reporter, who calls it a death trap, wants the authorities to do something, and really quickly too. And this last photo shows the dilapidated state of a school in Auchi, Edo State. According to our Eyewitness reporter, the building is a shadow of itself. He wants the state government to fix it. We do sincerely thank you for these pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming. A group of Niger Delta youths under the auspices of United Ex-Freedom Fighters Forum are calling on President Muhammad Buhari to overhaul the administration of the presidential amnesty program in the Niger Delta region, alleging that the program administrators have derailed from its original purpose. The group is citing non-payment of monthly stipends to beneficiaries of the amnesty program, as well as the theft of empowerment equipment at the amnesty warehouse in Kaima, Bayelsa State, as some of the reasons for the call to overhaul the system. Meanwhile, the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on the Niger Delta has described the allegations as false and a deliberate attempt to smear the character of the Special Advisor to President Buhari on Niger Delta, Professor Charles Dokubo.
The Presidential Amnesty Program, which was introduced on the 25th of June 2009, has run for 10 years. The program was an intervention initiative of the federal government to stop militancy and its crippling effects on the nation's economy, as crude oil production dropped from 2.2 million barrels per day to 700,000 barrels per day in 2009. The program has recorded a major success. 30,000 ex-militants from the region were integrated into the program, and crude production rose from 1.9 million barrels per day to estimated 2.5 million barrels within the first 6 years of the program. However, several protests have also hit the program in the last 4 years. The latest is coming from this group of youths who claim to be beneficiaries of the amnesty program. They are calling on President Buhari to overhaul the administrative structure of the Amnesty Office, as beneficiaries are allegedly denied stipends and other welfare.
Since it has become obvious that the Special Advisor to the President on Amnesty, Professor Charles Dokubo, has lost every moral fiber to supervise the amnesty program, the President should, as a matter of urgency, relieve him of his appointment immediately. He owes contractors and former freedom fighters their stipend despite repeated assurances.
However, the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta has described the allegations as false, sponsored, and as a deliberate attempt to smear the character of the Special Advisor to President Buhari on Niger Delta, Professor Charles Dokubo.
It is a blatant lie for anybody to go and say they were being owed stipends. That is tells you that these people are not beneficiaries of the program. They are only some misguided elements being used by some persons to achieve a sinister aim. But I tell you categorically, it is not true that the Amnesty Office is owing stipends for 6 months. We are owing for 1 month, yes, and that was because the releases for May have not come.
Funding has been a major issue with the amnesty program. As revealed here on its website, it is perhaps one of those subjects that the government and other stakeholders in the program need to handle critically in order for it to deliver on its mandate.
Let's turn our attention to the National Assembly for a bit. The issue of bills vetoed by President Muhammadu Buhari in the 8th National Assembly is one that the 9th Assembly will for sure be looking forward to avoid. And there are also some pressing legislations that will require urgent attention. In the special report, our correspondent Terry Kumi takes a look at the possible agenda of the 9th National Assembly.
On the 2nd of July, when the 9th National Assembly resumes fully, hopefully having sorted out their office allocations and sitting arrangements in their various chambers for which they are joined at their first sitting, parliamentary work is expected to be paramount, one of which may be to attend to the 8 bills pending before the National Assembly spilled over by the 8th Assembly and the 45 bills returned by President Muhammadu Buhari.
I shall be a president.
2 of those bills are considered very important. The Petroleum Industry Governance Bill, proposed about 18 years ago, which seeks to tackle corruption in the petroleum industry, and the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which international observers believe will tackle some of the issues observed in the 2019 general elections.
Of these 30 recommendations, the majority of them involve legal reform. Therefore, of course, we look to the National Assembly to be taking the initiative on having an inclusive debate, an inclusive conversation, and moving these recommendations forward. And what we see from other countries around the world is that it is critical that this starts early.
In returning some of the bills, President Muhammadu Buhari raised issues such as inconsistencies, drafting errors, and conflicts with other provisions of the Constitution and other acts, among others.
As an insider, as presiding over the Rules and Business Committee, I had the impression that some were mere excuses. Some of these complaints were mere excuses to throw out certain bills that the executive government was not, happy with.
I challenge any person to fault any of the reasons given by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari in declining assent to any of the bills. Any reason.
On the issue of a smooth budgeting process to avoid padding, passage delay, and possibly achieve a January to December budget cycle, the leadership of the 9th Assembly is expected to live up to its promise.
Majority of the people, whether they are individuals or businesses or corporations, they wait for the budget. So we want to see a budget process that starts and ends within 3 months between September and December, so that we go back to the January to December budget cycle by the grace of God.
Lawmakers in the 8th Assembly had canvassed for early submission of the budget by the President and to be carried along during the preparation process. Now, ultimately, lawmakers in the 9th Assembly are faced with the challenge of being non-partisan and refusing to be bullied by any of the other arms of government. It will also be important to know how the promised synergy between the legislature and executive will translate into good governance. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
Ogun State Governor Mr. Dapo Abiodun is seeking attitudinal change among residents of the state to reduce incidents of flooding and ensure a habitable environment for living and business. Governor Abiodun made the call while monitoring the state's monthly sanitation exercise in Abeokuta, the state capital. About 31 people were arrested and prosecuted by the State Environmental Mobile Court for violation.
I want to enjoin all our citizens in Ogun State to ensure that they keep up with the spirit of sanitation. a day like this is dedicated for us to clean our environment. Do not spend that day walking around. If you do walk around, you will be arrested just like these people. Unfortunately, we have a mobile court with the magistrate in there, and you'll be fined and sentenced and dealt with accordingly. So we cannot say we want to join hands together and build a future together if not, we are not able to do the simplest of things, which is as much as keeping our environment clean. How do we begin to encourage people to come and invest in Ogun State when the first thing they see is either trash or a habit of a people that are not able to clean up after themselves? So I want to enjoin all of us to ensure that we are responsible. It's called responsibility consciousness. On the part of government, we will do the needful. On the part of citizens, you also please do the needful and help us so that we can help you.
The Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed is looking to strengthen in partnership with all the international development partners and donor implementing agencies that are providing assistance in the state. Representatives of over 10 of the partners and agencies held discussions with the governor for over 6 hours at the government house earlier. The meeting was centered on gaining insight into the interventions provided to better the lot of the people. Representatives of USAID, UNICEF, Oxfam, WHO, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Aliko Dangote Foundation, DFID, Global Affairs Canada were some of the donor partners represented at the meeting.
All of you have one or two programs in Bauchi. Let's show that we really have to put everything in a basket to know your areas of interventions and to know where we are supposed to give counterpart assistance or money so that we'll be able to do and achieve our desired objective of improving the quality of life of the people of Bauchi and in Nigeria. I thank you most sincerely for doing what you have been doing for us, unsolicited, just because of your global touch, because you have become universal civil servants. You have come to do something that we are statutorily supposed to do.
When the News at 10 returns, we'll have more on the National Assembly agenda. The 9th Assembly, for that matter, will be joined by Dr. Sam Amadi, a political analyst and a lecturer at the Beige University from our Abuja studios. Plus, stock market loses nearly 500 billion naira on profit taken in the month of June as investors brace for third quarter and second half of the year. That's on business news. Join us again.